Our guest on Strike a Chord is returning to the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. We are honored to have vocalist, guitarist, and filmmaker Mike Cuenca here with us. How's it going, fam? I know he's just barely zooming on in. Here we go.
Asking to start your video.
There
you are.
There we
go. Your hair got so much longer than the last time you were on.
Hey,
that's
hey, you're going for that Bieber look too, aren't you?
What look?
Every single guy in COVID has, except for Chris, thank God, because his haircut, he has decided to go the Bieber look.
Bieber look?
You have the Bieber look, dude. That's beautiful frosty tips. Look at that. Frost is coming back.
Frost
and
is
the Bieber
coming
look.
back.
I like it.
You know, as Marissa has just fronted you right in the beginning of this interview, I will give you enough time to respond. What is your answer to this?
I have no answer.
Okay, no comment. Okay, perfect.
No comment.
So let's get right on into it, because Mike, your latest project, Some Daggers Wear Red, is described by you as being dark alternative band. But when I think about dark alternative, your style of music doesn't necessarily come in mind, because I'll think of like black metal and you go, please don't be a white supremacist. And then you're like, okay, cool. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, that's so cool.
I've had music. I'm like, they're so good. Please don't be racist. Don't be racist.
Please. But like, I love your band name, Some Daggers Wear Red. And I know you're a passionate filmmaker who is a fanatic of neo-noir. So is the band's name inspired from a classic film that the group is inspired by?
Not at all. It was just literally magnetic poetry. So it was on a fridge and I was like, all right, that's cool.
Magnetic poetry.
I love that.
You know, you rearrange it on the fridge when you're drunk.
Magnetic
you're talking about the little alphabets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I would have been a little alarmed to see on someone's fridge like a bloody dagger, and you're like, dude, it's already...
Yeah, I was just left there by a tribe, but no.
Right. I find that just a little intense, but that's kind of... Okay, that's funny. So I guess you've been having some drunk times with your homies in the band.
Well, it actually said some fingers have sex, and then I was like, wait a second. So I rearranged it, and then, you know.
That's actually a really great story on how to get a band name, because usually it's a bunch of like drunk boys hanging out, be like, what should we call ourselves, dog?
Yeah, because I was thinking of like that black noir. I know you're so obsessed with like the 30s and the 40s, and I was thinking that you were going for some take where it's like this black and white cinema and you got a little drip of blood, but I guess we're totally ass backwards on that. I find that actually very fascinating. But you know, the thing is, we're going to be playing one of your tracks here, and I know you've been giving us the honor to actually premiere some of the music that's never been released on a major platform yet. So we love you for that, my friend. And one of my favorite tracks, because you let me actually pick the songs and
I have no idea what
you
you
in the
picked,
moment. So you have no idea. So I picked this song because I absolutely love it. It's called Flesh Upon Flesh. And what does that necessarily mean?
What are those tracks?
Yeah, come on, hold on. Let me get in with this with Mike for a second.
What do you think it means?
What are you thinking, Marissa?
What do you think it means?
Usually you go, we're going to hear this track, and then like, I got to play the track, so I was ready.
That's true, but I wanted to leave enough time because I find that so fascinating, because I mean, obviously I was so wrong when it came to the band name. I thought it was going to be inspired by a film, but
it's not as romantic.
It's not as obviously not as romantic. And so what is the theme with that track, Flesh Upon Flesh?
That song is actually an I'll Be Around in the music montage section after it's the intermission song.
That's why that sounded so familiar.
You're like, that's why I know that's
why I was like grooving out to it, and I was like, man, I feel like I heard this song before.
Yeah, it's the intermission song.
And we'll definitely be talking about that after playing Flesh Upon Flesh, because I know one of the coolest things that you did with one of your latest films, and we'll talk about it right after we play Flesh Upon Flesh, but you got a brand new film that's about to be dropping, and your band composed all the music. I think that's so cool.
Actually, well, for that flick, it was my buddy Carlos and I that composed for that.
But you guys are band members though in Some Daggers Wear Red, correct?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I'm getting some things wrong here. So we're always glad that Mike Cuenca is always correcting the white dits over here. All right, but let's play this track right now. This is Some Daggers Wear Red, and this song's called Flesh Upon.
darling, same as all I deserve. Thousand Virgil, Valkyrie lay on her. Is the arm grasping hand on the neighbors pounding mad? I just wanna sleep with you, nothing I can handle, and the pause of thrill rehearse as we bend the wheel of life, flesh upon flesh, nothing short of a scandal, nothing short of scandal. Supersonic, listen amongst the dowry herd. Leave you to it, what you do, Jardine man. It's the secrets that you hide, we don't know the hour of day. I just wanna sleep with you, nothing I can handle, endless summer, that joy, do you fade, flesh upon flesh, nothing short of a scandal.
That was Mike Cuenca, and that's his band, Some Daggers Wear Red. And, you know, Mike...
I just have to say, just real quickly, as we hear more music, you are my favorite music artist, like, song that we've had on the show. Like, this is like the 80s, like The Cure, like this,
right.
Like, I'm like hot over here. I'm like,
you got her all. You got her all
my favorite music.
Morning.
No, I just want you to know, I love all of our musicians we've had on. I love their music. That's why we're really picky on who we bring on. But this is like my favorite we've had on the show so far.
Well, you always like
awesome.
Well, you always like making a baby, right, Marissa? I mean, what would
I made a baby once and I'm straight.
Okay, let me correct myself. You always make this reference sometimes during the show about two artists, if they were having sex, what would be Some Daggers Wear Red?
Well, okay, so here's a little different. It does remind me of like The Cure in that sense, but it's different. It has the sound of today. So when I listen to 80s, I'm like, it's a throwback, like 80s, you know, and you think about the hair and the heavy makeup, and
right.
I don't know why the heroin
I was thinking about
hot.
Like modern day AFI.
No, but it's like to me, it's this really does stand alone. Like I can hear like that thing, but it's just, I don't know, like I love Some Daggers Wear Red. Like I really do. And you're not on Alexa yet, and it makes me mad. So I'm like, Alexa, play them. And she's like trying to find somebody else.
It'll be all on there in a month. So
yes.
Yeah. Am I screeching at my end on you guys?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure. Yeah.
Are you trying to?
That's what she said at night. Not yet.
Okay, Marissa, I'll leave you to be
That's
the
what
one
that song is about, actually.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I'm over here. I'm like,
You got to change your background to have this like multi fiery lava. I think it'd be great.
I like it. I like the visuals.
But, Marissa, you actually get into exactly the point that I wanted to discuss with Mike, because you released another record called First Demos on January 18th, and you're soon about to release another record called For the Time Being, which we just premiered one of the songs off that record on March 16th. And to me, you're like a modern day Beatle, because what made you decide to drop 2 full-length albums nearly 2 months apart?
I'm just really impatient. and the other stuff, the first demo stuff was stuff that we started recording in 2016, 2018. But this album, For the Time Being, which is kind of ironic title or a pun, I did solo at the start of quarantine. And I had a couple songs that were already on the IBA soundtrack, and I was like, I might as well just record a whole thing, and I ended up doing that. But I ended up also recording a third album. So,
and when is that going to being released?
Probably later at the end of the year.
Okay, so you try to at least space it out a little bit, because I mean, my genuine thought when I first heard that you were pulling a modern day Beatle move was, why was it the band's decision to release 2 full-length albums? Was it because of like the impact of audio streaming services such as Apple Music and Spotify not doing enough to support the artists? Because I know you're on Bandcamp. That is a very familiar thing with a lot of independent artists.
And it's cheap. It's like $5 an album.
Only
People
$5.
I buy music from iTunes, so I get really happy when it's cheap.
Or buy it for $100. You can do whatever kind of sum of money that you want to do. But like, was that some of the effects that played into the reason why you wanted to drop it 2 months apart? That other one should have been released a while ago, so that was a thing. And I was like, I'm really excited about this newer thing, so I might as well, just get them both out there. Well, I love it, man, because I mean, you're breaking down those barriers that Marissa and I always discuss, and especially it always seems like a common theme when we're speaking with R&B artists or hip hop and rap, because a lot of the times they're just dropping singles, and rock stars like yourself, they continue to drop full-length albums, and I love you for that.
Rock stars like myself.
You are a rock star. You're a modern day.
Like his ego was
if by rock you mean just sitting there and not moving, then yeah, sure.
I don't know, man. I mean, we'll be going into it, because you are also a filmmaker as well, which I love. And I did want to surprise you on the spot, because I did actually pick a track out from your record, First Demos. And we're about to play you this track right now, listeners. This song is called Dreaming for You. Ooh. It's very short and sweet, but we love it though. I mean, I think it's a great song. That song is called Dreaming for you. And also, I wanted to bring this up with you, Mike, because you recently had the luxury to shoot your latest feature film, Like a Dirty Novel, in 6 days back in October. So tell me, what were some of the new challenges in cinema you experienced while shooting this film during the pandemic?
You can just imagine. A lot of safety protocols, you know, having a COVID compliance officer on set.
Yeah, how's that like?
Tough.
And expensive.
But what does tough mean? I mean,
but I'm actually certified as one, and a really good friend of mine is as well. So we did this whole project. Everyone pretty much volunteered, you know, on it, because everyone's just getting stir crazy. So a lot.
You are so smart, because they are so expensive to get a COVID officer on set. So the fact you could use your friend, that was brilliant.
I'm very. This is interesting now. Because, like, how the hell is someone like yourself, a film director, become this quote unquote COVID officer?
Well, I personally can't do both roles. On top of that, you know, I'm doing a million other things at the same time, you know. So I'm not just directing when I'm like on my own sets. It's total insanity. But so we registered for it, so we know all the protocols, and you know, we just abide by them. But you know, it was.
No, sorry, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, what are some of these things that you have to uphold on a film set?
Constant temperature checks. No one can have really like sort of catering. Everyone has to pack their own food, which, you know, in my productions, since we have zero money, everyone has to bring their own food anyway.
So it basically works out either way.
Which is like the only reason I really love going on some cheap films and helping out is for catering. So I'm screwed. So now I can pack a lunch.
I mean, do you feel very lucky and fortunate that you decided to, you know, work on this film back in October? Because it feels like everything's starting to get a little bit more tight now.
Yeah, it got way crazier, because I was planning on doing something else in February, and another feature, and now I'm just a little on the fence about it. You know, it's kind of crazy out there.
It's definitely not easy, but I definitely find it really cool, because you're one of the first filmmakers that I've discussed with being able to have that luxury, like I've been saying, to shoot a feature film. And you've been fortunate enough to actually give us a little teaser from your latest film. This is called Like a Dirty Novel. So let's check it out right now.
seco.
Oh my Lanta. I mean, like, when I watched that,
I think Chris just got a hard on from that last line.
So see, both of you guys were satisfied this morning.
Hey, Mike, man,
you got the song.
Chris has
we
really appreciate it. Thank you.
But like,
I'm watching out for you. That's what I'm doing.
But like at the same time, I watched that trailer and I'm like, I have no idea what the hell is going on.
Good.
I mean, was that on purpose when you made trailers like that?
I mean, it's just a teaser. You know, like how you guys are feeling. It's just a tease.
You're such a tease.
Oh,
a big
man.
tease.
But I mean, for like the listeners that are tuning in right now, I mean, what is kind of the synopsis for this film, Like a Dirty Novel?
So it's my idea of an anthology movie, and the weird thing is that I'm not a big fan of those movies. There's stuff like, you know, like Creepshow, and I don't know if you ever watched that from the mid '80s or whatever.
Were you inspired by that Coen Brothers film that recently came out, like maybe last year?
Oh yeah, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, Buster Scruggs or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Don't quote me.
Well, that's the idea, but you know, they're actually all connected and sort of told in a nonlinear fashion. But you know, it's kind of like a thriller, mystery, horror noir.
Okay.
A mixture of a few different things. And then that last track that's playing, that score, that's my buddy Carlos Colon and I that worked on that music.
Okay.
And that's actually, you hear that wailing banshee. That's actually him, screaming in the background. Dealing with all the agony of working on that music in such a quick time span.
Well, I find it so cool, and I'm about to surprise you again because again, you were very kind enough to give me the full-length album for your record that's going to be dropping soon. It's called For the Time Being, and I'm going to play you one of my favorite tracks off that record, and this song is called The Silence.
Evelyn can't sustain her idea of oppression. She seems like she's ready to yell out all sorts of obscenities. How delicate flower of instincts, she thinks she'll just wither away before she falls in love again. She says zero and a clue as the dust gathers now the feel of this torso as my petals fall, her petals fall now. Dream from her kiss, love so vile that burns away your sins persistently, persistent. Distance spread between the yearning of silence. She can't tell what she's waiting here for anymore. Zero and a clue after dusk at all. How now the feel of this torso as my petals fall, the petals fall now. Feeble through the row of the desperate toll. Feeble through the row of the desperate toll. Ow, now she hit the turf again, wondering when she'll die, when her time is to die. She's in love again. She's in love with denial. She's in love with denial. And she denied it. Zero and a clue as the dust gathers now the feel of this torso as my petals fall, her petals fall now. Drink from her kiss, love so vile it burns away your sins persistently.
I know we have a quick 30 seconds. I did want to say this because I see from YouTuber Accent 86, he did say that your sound sounds like Heavy Smith's, Morrissey and The Cure, and he also says your second track, Dreaming of You, reminds him of classic Misfits. So I think that's a great
I
compliment.
think he got turned on too.
I
I
think
got turned on. Look at that.
I think he got flustered. People are screeching, but I want to leave you enough time. Real briefly, if you can shout it out real quick, where can listeners check out that brand new record?
They can go to Bandcamp, Some Daggers Bandcamp, and find it on there, but it'll be on Spotify next month on the 16th. February
Let's
16th.
go, baby. I love it. And Mike Cuenca, again, thank you for coming on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. We'll see you around,
Thanks
my
for
friend.
having me.
Thank you.
All
Bye.